Okay,
And
we're
we're
live.
live.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. This is the second in a series of 4 Shopify webinars that RTO9 will be putting on this week and another 2 next week. I think we'll probably have a couple people join as we go in, so we're just going to jump right into this. We do have about 30 minutes for the actual presentation this morning, followed by a Q&A session. It is quite interactive, which is nice, so you're not just sitting there looking at your camera. My name again is Laurie McIsaac. I'm the Director of Operations with RTO9, Southeastern Ontario's partner for tourism. Joining us today is Cynthia Loisel-Seguin, Coordinator for Support Campaigns at Shopify. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning.
Since COVID, in-person shopping, of course, as we all know, is quite limited, and I can attest to being a very avid online shopper. I appreciate, as we all do with some smaller businesses, it can be a challenge to get online. There's been so much confusion and commotion, and just keep you busy trying to stay afloat and keep your business going. So we wanted to put on these series of seminars for those of you who may still be struggling getting online to have an e-commerce platform. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Cynthia, who will be working with Carissa, her colleague, for today's presentation. And I'll jump in again at the end, and we'll go from there. Good morning again, Cynthia, and thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Laurie. Thanks, everyone, for being here today. Chris is hanging in the background with us. She's going to join us during the Q&A. There. Oh, I heard her. There she is. And so today we're talking about driving traffic. Like we did last time, we're playing with some new technology. Even Carissa hasn't seen this part yet. So I'm just going to share my screen like I did before. Share my screen. Chrome tab. That's the one. Excellent. So if you have your mobile phone, a tablet, or just another browser window available to you, if you can go to www.menti.com and use the code 8651145, and I'll give everyone a moment to do that. I'm appealing to folks who are at the same stages of their e-commerce journey. So I'm going to plug it into mine, menti.com, and I enter the code 8651145 and hit submit, and there I am. So everyone should be able to see it says welcome. What city are you from? That's what I'm seeing on my screen there right now. If you can just plug in the city that you are from, I plugged mine in so you can see how cool it looks. There's a Kingston. I'm going to throw my Sudbury up in there. There we go. Multiple folks from Kingston already. Excellent. Thank you, Carissa, for posting that link and that code in the chat. Excellent. I got pretty colors too, teals. And so real quick, my name is Cynthia Loisel-Seguin. For anyone who wasn't here last week, it's Tuesday. That's right, because we started this week. We're doing it all together, nice and compact and squished this week. So my role here is to reach out and work with small to medium business associations like the RTO Area 9 and provide you with some education, some content, and some contacts to help you get online more easily. We know that in this kind of time of COVID, things are a little bit crazier, shutdowns are happening, and it's certainly impacting a lot of our businesses. So the goal of these presentations is just to give you some ideas, some tips, and some tricks. And of course, if you're needing further assistance, definitely reach out to Laurie, and we can talk about other ways how we can help. So excellent. Oh, we just got a new one. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to pop over to the next slide. Do you have a website? Yes or no? The reason we asked this one is, again, to see, does everyone have their website already? Should we be talking more about the beginning stages of this is where you go sign up, or are we looking to discuss more about how to grow your business? So far, most of us already have our website, which is super cool. I'll give it another minute or two, and then we'll switch to the next slide. I could put mine in there, but then I'd be cheating. Give you just another minute or two to register whether you've got a website or not. Oh, okay, I'm going to flip over to the next slide. Do you have an online store yet? Some people have a website, but they don't have an online store. So sometimes these sessions are here to help you get more acclimated to the idea of it. Yay for our Shopify folks. Oh, excellent. I was just going to say, Deanna, if anyone is having any technical issues during the webinar today, we do find that if you just exit the room and come back in, it usually fixes most of the issues that we have going on. Perfect. We've got a good split today of some folks who are with Shopify who can definitely share their experience and a few folks who are not, and we can certainly help you get started. I'm going to flip over to the next slide. What are your expectations today? What are you hoping to learn? I'm going to change. I'm going to put my, I'm just going to go. There we go. What are my expectations? My goal is to teach everyone something new. So I'm going to throw that in there for you. So just go ahead. What brought you here today? Are you here because you want to learn something about driving traffic? Is it because you want to learn about Shopify? If you want to learn about, I don't know, making chocolate, you're probably in the wrong place, but we could talk about that as well too. It's just nice to know kind of what your expectations are. So that we can kind of make sure we're fulfilling them. In some cases, if we don't, then we know that this is important information we should have in for next time. We are doing a series of 4 webinars. This is the second one. Oh, this is great. I'm loving this. So the person who says to turn visitors into buyers, definitely show, if you can make it on Tuesday, that whole one is all about designing your store in order to turn browsers into buyers. That's a great option for you too. This is great. Thank you so much, everyone, for interacting with us. It's so much more fun than just kind of talking into a void. On that note, I'm going to pop out just one more one. Next question. What do you already know about driving traffic? Like if you had to give one tip or one point about driving traffic and email marketing, what would that be? You know it's useful. You know it doesn't work. You know you need to do it. I'll give you an example. I'll put SEO is important. And so I'll put that one up there just so you can see how that comes up. What do you know about driving traffic to your online store? What do you know about email marketing? Is it effective? Is it not effective? Have you used it in the past? Or do you come here and you completely like blind about it? You know, like I've heard it's a thing, but I don't know anything about it. And that's okay too. Then you're definitely in the right place. I feel like an auctioneer on the auction block. Okay, who's next? Who's next? These are great. I really appreciate, again, all this feedback. We use this feedback to make these presentations better for people in the future. And I think that we've got a great mix of people in here today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this slide up just for a little bit longer on Mentimeter, but I am going to switch over to my other slides so we can actually look at our presentation today. We'll get the like formal part of our presentation going. So something to note, if you do have questions, there actually is going to be a question slide coming up during the presentation. So feel free to toss your questions in there. If you absolutely can't wait, you can make a comment or a question down in the chat, but we will do have a question and answer. We will have a question and answer period following the very exciting content we're going to share today. So driving traffic online. That's what we're all here for. Now, I did go over what Shopify was in our last session, so I'm just going to do a little bit more of a Cole's Note version of it today. Shopify is a cloud-based multi-channel commerce platform designed to help you run your business. We allow you to design, set up, and manage your stores across multiple sales channels, including web, mobile, social media, marketplaces, bricks and mortar locations, and pop-up shops. Oh, come on. Switch to the next one. Thank you. Running a business means staying on top of lots of moving parts. Shopify makes this easier for merchants by providing one mission control for their business. From your Shopify admin, you can keep an eye on all components of your business, including processing and shipping orders, managing inventory, running ads, and ensuring things are running smoothly. Oh, I just realized that the little dude in all these pictures has a little flat top hat like our CEO is, which is super fun. Okay, so Shopify caters to businesses of all sizes, from side hustles up to multi-million-dollar corporations. My favorite stat on here, besides the number of amazing merchants we've had and the crazy amount of sales that are made on Shopify, is that we have 5,000 plus employees currently. Our support org, when I started 4.5 years ago, had 500 people in the entire organization, and now we're over 3,000 just in support here specifically to help you get online. Our merchants, so here's a few of our merchants. You might have heard of folks like Staples and The Brick, of course, Kylie Kardashian, and everyone in between. So these are some of our higher end, very recognizable names. And of course, we have a lot of, our real heart and soul are our small to medium businesses. They're the ones that really are the ones that get our blood boiling and get us excited to help. So our mission here at Shopify is to make commerce better for everyone. What does that mean? Basically, whether it's you guys as potential merchants or merchants who are on our platform, to our partners like RTO9, to our larger corporations, to your buyers, our core focus is to make commerce better for everyone. And again, the purpose of these sessions and why we dedicate so much time to Q&A as opposed to me just talking at you for an hour is that we want to interact with you and help you with specifically what it is that you're looking for. So here's what we're going to cover today. I love this slide. It gives me a chance to take a quick drink. So let's just jump right into marketing essentials. So before jumping into anything, it's important to take time to establish your brand's identity. We talked about this a little bit on Tuesday. We're going to review a few key points to your brand identity in order to just reinforce some stuff. So your brand identity is made up of a few key ingredients: knowing your target audience, having unique selling propositions, awesome photography and graphics, and of course, killer copywriting such as ad copy, product descriptions, titles, and emails. Probably the most important piece, and I mentioned a number of times on Tuesday, and you'll probably hear it throughout all of the sessions, is identifying your target audience. It is actually a piece that many people skip, but it really does leave a big hole in your puzzle. If you don't know who you're marketing to, everything will be more costly and time-consuming. So take a moment to think about which group is essentially affected by the problem that you're trying to solve. Essentially, you want to try and identify the ideal customer and adapt your language speaking to them in a way they understand. For example, you wouldn't talk to an 18-year-old the same way you would a 40-year-old, even though they may both be part of your target audience. That'll even impact some of the platforms that you might be marketing on later on as well. So here's an example that demonstrates the target audience for a movement store. Your target audience will dictate your lifestyle, photography, and voice across all the mediums that you use. Remember, consistency and relatability are key. Okay, next up, you should have a USP or a unique selling proposition for short. Our USP is a statement that shows how you solve your customers' needs and what distinguishes you from the competition. It's where you can highlight what you do better than anybody else, whether it's price, materials, social impact, or whatever. Again, what you do better than your competition. We used to call this a competitive advantage back when I was in marketing school. So here's an example from Warby Parker. Buy a pair, give a pair. Their USP is all about the social impact when you purchase from them. Okay, let's talk a little bit about photography. Good photography is an integral part of your brand. Some common themes in great photography are having high quality, clear images, showcasing and highlighting unique details, for example, showing a variety of angles of a product, having a neutral background like white or light gray to make the product pop, and providing lifestyle shots that show your product in action. So photography can be just as important as the message or product itself. I mean, there's the old adage that a picture tells 1,000 words. So let's look at the beautiful lifestyle photography shown here. And the product photography, they each serve a purpose. The lifestyle photography helps build the emotional connection. So this very serious, responsible looking lady makes me feel like maybe I want to be serious and responsible with her. And she's also very trendy looking. The product photography helps validate our purchase decision. So this, along with with their minimal logo in this case, is great visual branding. And you can see those product shots just below the lifestyle photography, seeing how they're clear and easy to see on a nice white background. Moving into copywriting, what is it? Copywriting is the act of strategically writing text that persuades people to take some form of action. When I think of copywriting, I think of just like advertising copywriting. But the reality is your whole website, your whole online store is basically selling itself. And that's why, again, it's still copywriting. So it's essential because it drives profitability, earns a return on investment, and achieves your business's goals by convincing your target customer that your product offering will solve their need and offer them value. It's also a part of building trust in your brand, a key thing these days. The reality is when someone, again, comes into your online store, into your retail store, your physical location, they're talking to your sales associates. They're talking to you as the owner or the proprietor of the establishment. And you can then explain to them what the features are, what the benefits are, why your product is the best, or why your service is the best. When people come to your online store, they don't have you. So that you need to almost put you and your voice and your personality and your messaging into your copy. So some examples include product titles and descriptions, promotional emails, title and meta descriptions, and again, your ad copy, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so here's a great example from Huckberry. Just listen to the title. Durable, sturdy, and super soft, the way a flannel shirt should be. I'm not going to lie, that's what I want a flannel shirt to be, and it makes me want to put one on right now. Also notice how seamless they built in keywords like jacket, mid-layer, and ultra soft into the description. Learning to write like this, it will take practice and work, but it's worth it. This will help drive more qualified traffic and conversions than poor copywriting will. So I'll explain a little bit about how Google and their magic fairies come and find all the information on your website and index it on their search engine, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So what is organic marketing? It's the act of getting your customers to come to you naturally rather than through paid advertising. Let's take a look at the main tactics you can use for organic marketing. So there's 4 areas we're going to talk about. SEO, which I mentioned earlier in my ideas, search engine optimization, content marketing, social media, and email marketing. Organic marketing strategies. So SEO, what is it? Search engine, so it's a hard word to say today. Search engine optimization is what we need to do to rank in search engines. We want our business and products or services to show up as close to the top of the search engine results pages as possible to ensure our potential visitors can find us easily through the use of keywords and phrases. Google will use over 200 different factors to rank your business, but most of these are unknown to the general public. However, there are things that Google has said you'll want to focus on. So let's go through some of the most common ones quickly. Taking a look here, we can see our product title, our product description, our meta title, our meta description, and our URL. Now, this is actually a screenshot right directly from the Shopify admin, so it's literally this easy to set it up. When you're adding your product, you go right in, and at the bottom, you have an option to edit your meta title and meta description. So first, we need to give a product a relevant title, in this case, Ultra Soft Flannel. 2 very relevant keywords for this product that help drive organic traffic to their site. It is important that your titles are not too long, though, and it actually says what the product or service is. Next, we need to add a great product description, and we're using the same product from our previous slide as an example. Their product description contains keywords and phrases used by customers to find this product via search. Now, one thing to remember about the product title and descriptions on the product page, these are seen after somebody clicks through from a results page. So the title and description should be geared towards enticing the customer to make a purchase. The alt text or alternative text is used as part of the HTML code on a site to provide descriptions of the image. So when you load your image, there's an opportunity to set your alt text for it. Its primary purpose is for accessibility for those visitors who use screen readers who can't necessarily see your product but will hear a description of it. It also serves to show what somebody may be missing if the image doesn't load. Your alt text should provide a good description of what is in the photo, and you want to paint a word picture. In this case, Flint and Tinder Ultra Soft Flannel with cuffs turned up on a white background. Google will use the text here to provide additional context to the content on the rest of the page. Including alt text with your images ensures all users, regardless of visual ability, can understand the content on your site. Continuing with the flannel from Huckberry, here's examples of the meta title and meta description. So if you remember a few slides ago, we had our product description on the top. We have our meta description or meta title on the bottom. Both the meta title and meta description could differ from the title and description we saw before. This is because they serve a different purpose. As previously mentioned, what appears on the product page is meant to entice a sale, whereas the meta information displayed in the search results is meant to entice a click through to the website. Sometimes companies will leave the description the same, as Huckberry did here, but for smaller brands, often the more you can target this to your customers, the better. If not optimized for your audience, you can end up with lower click-through rates, and you want people to click on your results, not your competitors. So this goes back to really understanding your target audience and what they're going to be looking for when they search. So I mentioned Google's magic fairies. There's a better word for it. I believe it's called the Google bot, also known as a crawler or a spider. This is a very high-level way of describing how Google finds your website and then shows it up when someone does a search. So the Google bot makes its way around the internet, crawling through pages and analyzing the content. It stores the most relevant information in its database, and this process is known as indexing. And something to keep in mind is that Google will never index all your pages, just the ones that it needs to make informed decisions. Next, the end user, so that's your buyers, search for something on Google. That search or query goes through the index to find the most relevant pages based on what was searched, and then presents a page of results for us to view. The page is known as the search engine results page, is commonly referred by the acronym SERP. Of course, it's more complicated than that, but let's take a look at how it looks when it's done right. Here we go. So when everything is done right, you see better rankings for your search terms, as Allbirds does in this example. You'll also notice that they have an ad right above the search results. So both their SEO and their marketing are working hand in hand to provide their information as high up as possible. But remember, help Google help you. SEO does take time and effort. It will not happen overnight. It will be very, very hard to take the top spots from big companies or smaller companies that have been around for a while. Thankfully, Shopify has plenty of tools available within the platform itself, and there are also additional apps available if you want to play around with your SEO. Social media. Social media is great for building brand awareness and engaging your audience, building a community around your business, and establishing authority and industry expertise. Some of the main tactics include sharing engaging content that will resonate with your audience, not just sharing products, offering product giveaways, and partnering with influencers. Here's an example of how Allbirds uses the bio on their Instagram page to reinforce their unique selling proposition. At Allbirds, we make the world's most comfortable shoes for life's everyday adventures. Sounds good to me. Here's another example. So with this giveaway example from Movement, you'll notice they've created a few calls to action that you must do in order to get entered. First, they get you to follow them, which is increasing the number of followers they have. They get you to tag 2 friends, which means more engagement and more awareness for the brand, as well as the context. Finally, they get you to click their link and give them your email address for early access, ensuring that you can continue engaging with them via email going forward. So this type of offer can drive a lot of engagement over a short period of time. Email marketing. There are many people out there who will tell you that email marketing is dead, but they could not be more wrong. If 20% of your sales are not coming from email, you are missing out. Email is the most valuable channel because you own that list and no one controls it but you. So it's not like on Facebook or Instagram where they dictate what kind of content you provide. It's not like it's in a marketplace like Amazon or Etsy, again, where they dictate how you can communicate. You own your email list and you control who's on it, who isn't, and what messaging they're getting. Once you have a list built up, you can start to take advantage of segmentation and automation features to create the most effective email campaigns you can. Let's talk about a few types of emails we can send and strategies for marketing them. Some of the main tactics for a quality email strategy will include a welcome series, product launches, abandoned checkouts, and the newsletter. Let me go back to that for a second. Welcome series, product launches, abandoned checkouts, and a newsletter. Something to keep in mind before we dive right in is the importance of permission-based marketing. Subscribers give you permission to email them, and you reward that permission by providing them with content that is personal and relevant. The goal of every email you send should be to add value to the recipient. When you add value, you get value, ultimately in the form of revenue or customer advocates. Remember, when it comes to email, it's quality over quantity. As our inboxes get filled really quickly these days. And I will add that at this time of year, when we've got Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, as well as the holidays, I actually have an annual tradition where at the beginning of November, I actually go through and I clean out some of the emails that I'm subscribe to. Some emails, some companies will send like multiple emails a day, multiple emails a week, and it's either repeating the same thing over and over again, or it's just too much. So I actually do personally go through and clean it out. So be aware of that. It's not quantity, it's quality that you're sending out. Email legislation are the rules and regulations that govern how, what, and whom you're able to email. It's hugely important to comply with these regulations to avoid some serious penalties. The big thing to remember is that you have customers in these, if you have customers in these areas, you must still comply with those regulations, even if you're not based there. The legislations are to protect the consumers, not the businesses. So the following are the most common ones you'll see. CAN-SPAM stands for Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing Act, and this is US based. The GDPR, or the General Data Protection Regulation, covers Europe, and Canada has Canada's anti-spam legislation, while Australia has the Spam Act of 2003. So let's talk about some best practices around sending emails to kind of try and stay in line with this stuff. Please note that this should not be considered legal advice. If you're unsure what you must comply with, please speak with a lawyer directly. These are just some best practices that we can recommend. Identify the message as an ad if it is one. You can do this easily by including this email as an advertisement on behalf of my company name or something similar at the bottom of the email. Tell recipients where you're located. You should include your full physical address at the footer of your emails as well. Ensure your unsubscribe is clear and easy to find. Don't make it a hassle to opt out and and honor any of those requests immediately. And lastly, monitor what others are doing on your behalf. This means if you hire out your email marketing down the line, you're still legally liable. Following up on that, here are some things to avoid. Don't use false or misleading header information. This means you're not masking or misleading who the email is coming from in an effort to increase open rates. In the same vein, don't use deceptive subject lines. This is not a place for clickbait. Don't purchase contact lists. Don't pad your email list. People may not opt out or unsubscribe from your list, but never open your emails either. Bigger subscription numbers don't necessarily equal better because this will impact your open rate. You should make sure to audit your list over time for people who are no longer engaging with your content and either segment them in win-back campaigns or remove them entirely. Sending lots of emails to a list that doesn't open them can definitely impact your deliverability. Okay. Before you can send emails, you need to grow your email list. There's a section on each Shopify store where customers can leave their info and opt in for your email marketing. One of the most popular ways to grow an email list is through the use of pop-ups. And while many people hate pop-ups, marketers have tested them extensively, and when done right, they can greatly increase the opt-in rate of new subscribers. So let's talk a little bit about making pop-ups better. First, you should never trigger a pop-up as soon as somebody lands on your website, unless it's an emergency message of some sort. You should do it after a specific amount of time, say after 60 seconds or so, or after they've scrolled a certain percentage of the page, let's say after 50%, or via exit intent, which is my favorite. So if a customer looks like they may be leaving, then it's triggered. Doing pop-ups immediately or that pop-up every time someone changes a page will lead to less signups and more people just leaving your page because they're annoyed, neither of which will benefit you. In terms of things to include in your pop-up, make sure your marketing copy is short and on brand for you. You're attracting attention by showcasing your product or sharing a fun on-brand message. Include a clear and concise call to action. And don't forget your lead magnet. You want to show the user what value they'll get by providing you with their email address. This could be an incentive, a promotion, or simply a good reason why they should subscribe to your newsletter. And I see Deanna's asking in the chat, what is a pop-up? So if you're coming to this particular website, I think this is Lisa, while you're looking at the main website, a little mini window pops up or comes up in front of you. Exactly, Carissa, it's a small business with information that pops up on your website. So this is actually an example of one that's from Lisa Mattress's website. There are three main types of emails that you're going to be sending: transactional, promotional, and lifecycle emails. Let's review them each quickly. Transactional emails are triggered automatically once an order has been placed and will continue being sent at different stages throughout the order lifecycle. These emails can include order notifications, shipping notifications, warranty emails, feedback requests, subscription details, or changes to your terms and conditions. Mainly, anything that is not trying to sell or market to them. While you can include some upsells as part of these emails, keep in mind that the rules around that vary depending on where you are. So make sure you check your local regulations to ensure you are compliant before sending, especially if you have customers in Canada or Europe where they are known to issue large fines for non-compliance. Canada starts at $10,000 for corporations, where Europe can be a whopping 20 million euros. Again, when in doubt, just check with someone in the legal profession and they can clarify for you. Your promotional emails will contain things like company updates, new products, sale notifications, or content that will help nurture subscribers into customers and customers into advocates. You want to make sure you're being very deliberate around these types of emails. Sending nothing but product and sale emails a few times a week will result in people ignoring, deleting, and unsubscribing from your lists. You can think of these emails as messages you send when you have something newsworthy to share. So carefully consider your underlying goal, offer, and the segment of subscribers that you're sending to. The last type of email is one of the most powerful. These are called trigger or life cycle emails because they are triggered by specific user behavior. The most common one you may have heard of is the abandoned cart email. Sometimes someone starts a checkout but then leaves before completing it, and that will trigger an email or an email sequence to be sent. Another example would be a post-purchase product review request sent a few weeks after the customers received their product, or a reminder to order a refill when you know they'll be almost done their current product. Lifecycle emails are almost always personal and relevant. They target only a small segment of your subscribers with relevant messaging and should ultimately generate higher revenues per subscriber. I'm not going to lie, now that I know about abandoned cart emails, I'm the ultimate in window shopper on the net. I'll be up at midnight, browsing through, find something cool, I add it to my cart, and I go, what am I doing? I don't need to buy this right now. I'll actually make sure that I still get to the part where I have to enter my contact details, because if I do decide I need it later, it'll actually appear in my email. Let's move on and chat about some different strategies you can use for email campaigns, starting with creating an effective welcome series. When creating an effective welcome series, you should keep in mind this quote by Bob Frady. Customers don't sign up for your email, they sign up for your brand. Sending a series of emails to a customer talking about your brand, mission, and values, along with a thank you, will go a long way to building trust and higher engagement with your audience. Let's dive into some best practices. Say thank you. This person made a choice to give you his or her email address at the time when we have very crowded inboxes. So thank them for signing up, which is a very simple but often overlooked option. Set transparent expectations. Let them know how often they can expect to hear from you. You also want to set clear expectations on what type of content they're going to receive from you. Personalize your message. Keep in mind this description of a great email. It should be personal, relevant, and anticipated. You can personalize your emails either in the subject line or in the main body of the email. Of course, have a clear call to action in every email. What do you want the subscriber to do? Access a coupon code that's available for a limited time? Read your About Us page? Send you an email response? People need to be told what to do. And of course, test your emails before setting up your email publicly. You want to make sure that the content of your templates works. Ensure that the links work, and also remember how it looks. Oh my goodness. And remember to see how it works on mobile, as this is how many people will see it. Now let's talk about abandoned carts. Let's think about your potential customer's journey to your store. They found your website, which means your top funnel marketing is working. They took the time to look around, found a product they were interested in, and put the product in their cart. Then they left without making the purchase. I'm totally guilty of this. Frustrating, right? 60 to 80% of online shopping carts are abandoned. But you can mitigate that frustration with the abandoned cart strategy. Companies can typically recover between 5 and 11% of abandoned sales by doing this. And if you think about it, if 60 to 80% of them are left and you can recover 5 to 11% of abandoned sales by having that cart strategy, it certainly seems worth it. If you're just starting out, we recommend sending one abandoned cart email as soon as you can after the cart was abandoned. The more recent your email, the higher the likelihood you will re-engage that customer. The key here will be to create a sense of urgency, ideally without nagging them. I love that this one says, your shopping bag has abandonment issues, save these items hours of therapy and give them a loving home. So there's no pressure involved in it. There's a little bit of humor, but not nagging, like, oh, you got it, you forgot it, get back here, get your purchase done. So make sure, again, your subject line is catchy like this one is. Remind the potential customer about the value of the product and include an image. You can also consider incentivizing the customer to buy now by offering a discount code or free shipping. Just remember that this type of discounting won't work for everybody, so think about how it could affect your business long term. The open rate for an order receipt, which is a transactional email, is 70 to 90% compared to the average 20% for a standard lifecycle email campaign. And yet most retailers just ignore that receipt and leave the default one as is. Optimizing it is a big opportunity for you to connect with your customer and offer added value. While you want to ensure you're following anti-spam legislations, let's talk about a few ways you can optimize these order confirmation emails. You can ask the customer to join your community, whether you connect with customers in a Facebook group or through a hashtag on Instagram. Encourage your customer to get plugged into your community and know they're a valued member of it. You can offer a discount code or free shipping for a future purchase within a limited time frame. This is called a bounce back offer and can be a potential alternative to sign up or abandon cart discounts. Encourage the customer to share a referral link with friends or family to earn a discount on their next purchase. This would require a little bit of setup on your part with regards to a loyalty program, but could definitely be worth it. And of course, if you have any special promotions coming up for holidays or their birthday, tell them to mark their calendar and keep an eye out for them. Needless to say, COVID has changed how businesses operate. In this next portion, let's cover a few best practices for communicating with your customers during this time. If, like many others, your business has been highly impacted and you've had to alter your normal workflow, it's totally okay to communicate that. In fact, I would urge you to be as transparent as possible. A good example of how to communicate that would be letting your engaged subscribers know you are temporarily closing certain or all locations, additional methods you are introducing to protect customers and employees, or adding notes letting people know you are experiencing delays due to supply chain, shipping, etc. Ensure you're being empathetic with your tone and language. Don't use discounts or promotional codes involving COVID-19 or coronavirus. That's just bad taste. Be your authentic self, just as you normally would. Don't change who you are. If anything, this is the time again to be more authentic and more transparent. Now is really the time to double down on customer satisfaction and service. Be sure you are sending a follow-up email after a sale asking for the purchaser to rate their product and experience or to leave a product review. Ensure customers are being responded to in a timely manner, even if it's just a matter of letting them know you're really backed up and will respond later in the day. Remember that you have other marketing channels that you can communicate through as well. Make sure to share your messaging on things like your Facebook page or Instagram feed so it's getting out to people in other areas, not just those ones that are on your email list. I'm sure many of you have received emails from every company you've ever provided your email to about their stance on COVID-19 and what they're doing. This is a great example of companies not utilizing segments or cleaning up their lists and engaging with old subscribers or inactive users. As the end user, this is annoying and makes it more likely that someone will ignore the email, unsubscribe, or mark as spam. Exactly what you don't want to happen with your followers. A great alternative to this would be to provide an update on a section of your website if you're going to be heavily impacted, and indicating any shifts in things like shipping delays during transactional emails like the order notification. Shopify includes in most of our themes, a large volume of our themes, an announcement bar across the top. That's a great place to include your COVID information. I know it's tempting to try and drive sales if your business is struggling, but increasing the number of marketing emails is not the way to do it. You should strive for the 80-20 rule, where you focus on delivering value 80% of the time and promotional content 20% of the time. Calling back to our earlier slide, it's critical to over-service your customers right now. This is a great time to engage with them and ask them what they want more of or need during this time. Encourage them to email your customer service or jumpstart the conversation on your social media channels and direct customers via email. Lastly, don't be afraid to reevaluate. Everything is in flux right now. Everything is changing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Sometimes you just need to change your approach until you figure out how to get it right. The last piece of the puzzle, evaluating your email marketing. There are 4 foundational metrics I recommend you track to test if your email marketing is working. These are open rates, click-through rates, unsubscribe rates, and revenue. So let's take a look at them real quick. An open rate is a percentage that tells you how many emails were opened by subscribers. A standard for a good open rate is 15 to 30%. You notice your open rate is usually higher when you're first starting out. And your subject line plays a big role in your open rate. The more compelling the subject line it is, the more of the chance it'll be open. Your click-through rate is a percentage that tells you how many of these opens generated at least one click. A standard for click-through rates are generally 2 to 3 times the conversion rate of your store, so maybe 5% or so. And an unsubscribe rate. Your unsubscribe rate is the number of people who unsubscribe from your email list divided the number of emails delivered. This metric can help you better understand what campaigns are negatively impacting your email list, making it easier to optimize future campaigns. And of course, revenue is how much money is coming in the door. According to email marketing experts, the most successful brands get about 20 to 30% of their total revenue from email strategy. Here's a few email examples by Allbirds, Movement Watches, and Late Sunday Afternoon. You'll notice they all have great lifestyle photography and copywriting. It's clear right away what the point of these emails are, so don't beat around the bush, get straight to it. Here's 3 more. Note they all have high quality copywriting. They all contain photography. And when required, they have a call to action, in this case, shop now. One of the most popular apps for email right now is Klaviyo. It provides excellent segmentation and automation options, as well as a wide range of templates to get you started or give you inspiration. There are lots of other solutions out there. Shopify has released our marketing part of the admin, where we actually have the ability to create email marketing campaigns as well as social media campaigns directly from your Shopify admin. Content marketing. This is the creation and sharing of material like videos and blogs that does not explicitly promote a brand or product, but is intended to stimulate interest in a brand or product. So let's take a look at a couple of ideas. Here's an example of how Movement drives engagement by sharing lifestyle videos on their YouTube channel, like this one from influencer Sam Colder. Notice how they are selling a lifestyle vision with a caption, "Live every day like it's your last." So the video isn't talking specifically about the brand or the products, but it helps to raise awareness of their brand within their target audience. They do things similarly on their blog. While you may see a bit more content focusing on their brand or products here, you'll see a lot of variation of content. Blog posts are great because they help, Blog posts are great because your use of keywords will help drive traffic to your site for years to come. Remember, when it comes to blogging, it's quality, not quantity, that matters, but you'll still need to be consistent with it. If you start out going gangbusters, and then all of a sudden stop, this looks not only bad to Google, but to your customers as well. I often suggest that you start with blogging once a month to start, as long as you're consistent with providing valuable content. It's a lot easier to scale up than it is to scale down your content, so don't overwhelm yourself right off the get-go. So here's another example of Huckberry doing an interview with pro Kelly Slater. This is an effective way of driving organic traffic to your site and aligning your brand with your users. Just remember to make sure that you're using influencers that align with your brand. There's nothing like a good gift guide, especially at this time of year. Guides tend to perform really well when written well and providing informative content around the products. You can look at offering list-based content as well, such as top 10 products for this holiday season. Moving on to paid advertising. We'll cover just a few quick things because our focus on this one really was more about the organic style of marketing. As with organic marketing, you really want to make sure you know your story and you know your audience. Advertising without a clear and concise understanding of who you're marketing to will result in higher costs and lower return on investment. So let's look at a few things. Before spending any money on advertising, think about where you want your business to be 2 weeks from now, 6 months from now, even 4 years from now. It's important to have a clear idea of why you're spending money on advertising and what you're trying to accomplish. Remember that not all advertising is for conversions. You really have to create advertising that works for you at all stages of the funnel. Don't forget to budget. Here's a few things to keep in mind about paid advertising. The money you spend on advertising is an investment. Your advertisement budget will change year over year or even month over month. Your budget doesn't need to be spread evenly across all platforms, and don't be afraid to shake it up year over year. Try to consider when your customers want to buy, not just when you want to sell. And content is an important part of your advertising and organic marketing. Having high quality and consistent material is essential. Depending on the time of year, you will promote different collections, products, or content. Your strategy will change based on product releases, selling seasons, or discounts. Whether it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or Mother's Day, plan campaigns that tell the story rather than the product itself. A content calendar will help you make your paid, organic, and advertising goals more manageable. So a lot of things that us busy entrepreneurs don't take the time to do, but planning a simple content calendar, even if it's not really heavy, allows you to hold yourself accountable, keep up with things that are coming up, and have some consistency around the work that you're doing. So let's look at a few of our paid platforms real quick. Facebook has become an essential business tool for many businesses and offers a variety of ad types to reach your audiences. By advertising on Facebook, you'll be able to reach potential customers with content that encourages engagement, helps raise visibility and consideration of your brand or products. With Instagram's focus on visual content combined with ease of use, the platform itself creates a vortex through which viewers can be drawn into your content over and over again. There were over 1 billion Instagram monthly users as of June 2018. I need to update that, which is even higher now. If your target audience is on Instagram and you're not, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity. With both Instagram and Facebook, you have amazing capabilities to target specific groups of people and to create lookalike audiences to advertise to similar people who may not have already had a connection with. And something to keep in mind too is do some work and some research on the target audiences and the people who are on each of these platforms as well. Facebook tends to skew a little bit older. Instagram tends to skew a little bit younger. Even the socioeconomic demographics of people changes from platform to platform. We've all seen Google ads. We've seen the text ads and search results in Gmail for years, and now we're getting used to seeing Google shopping ads too. These are the ones that display the product image for you. What you may not know is that Google's network goes far beyond Google properties. And when you're running ads, you can choose to do so on the display network, which is a group of millions of websites, videos, and apps where your ads can appear. Display network sites reach over 90% of internet users worldwide. The display network is especially useful for remarketing to your visitors because it's used across so many different sites. It gives you ample opportunity to get back in front of customers outside of the basic Google properties. Whew. So that's a lot of stuff we just went over. Again, you're going to get a replay of this. Lori can send around the slides. What you really want to do is maybe take 3 key things that you found throughout what we just discussed and action those over the next little while. Okay, so on that note, I'll share our resources at the end. I'll stop sharing here. And hopefully we've got some questions coming up. So let me just go over to Mentimeter, and I'm going to change that one so we can go to our questions page. Here we go. So I'm going to share our screen. There's Carissa. Hi, honey. I would also, while we're waiting for questions to come in, Carissa, if you could share a little bit about who you are and what you do. I'm just going to get people on real quick. Again, we're going to go back to menti.com and use the code that Carissa had put in the chat, which is 8651145, and enter in any of your questions here. That'd be fantastic. In the meantime, Carissa, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you for all of that information. Was like so very thorough. It does seem like a lot, right? So it's great to kind of try to take away, like, what are a couple of things that I learned that I could do now, today, this week, this month, whatever, versus how am I going to do all of this by the end of the day, which is completely impossible and can't be done. So yeah, thanks. Thank you for that. So I'm Carissa. I am here in Kingston. I'm a community manager for Shopify. I've been working with Shopify for would be 4 years in the new year. And basically what I do is I build community around Shopify locally. So what that means probably for you is I could be a resource for you when you're first getting started, or, you know, sometimes when people are in the middle of growth, they want to have a bit of a conversation. So I'm not support. I can't solve technical issues for you. You can ask me. I might know the answer. I might be able to solve it for you, but it's best to go directly to support for those things. But if you want to have a conversation about your business, what next steps that you should be taking, maybe you know that you need some kind of an app, but you have no idea how to sort of tackle finding the best one, these kinds of things, then you can absolutely meet with me and we can have a conversation about it. So if you're not sure, but you think, oh, I would really love to actually just sit and talk with somebody about this, about Shopify, about questions I have about my store, and like really anything from sort of the very beginning to kind of growth those types of questions I can help you with. You can find me. I'll put the information in the chat, but you can find me at shopifykingston.ca, and you can book a one-to-one appointment with me there directly as well. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm just happy to see you all here. And thanks again, Cynthia. That was great.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carissa. So again, Carissa is the cool thing about you guys being in the area that you are is that not every area has a community manager. So a lot of times folks are going through like our support, which is fantastic, our 24/7 support. There are people there at all times over chat. You can do phone backs or you can do emails, and they'll help you as well. You're just a little bit extra lucky. You've got this extra layer of support in the Kingston area. So that's a really awesome resource. So please don't be afraid to take advantage of it. We've got a few more minutes for questions. If there aren't any, then we'll move on a little bit, but I'd like to give you a chance to ask whatever questions you have. We have some people who mentioned that they were not currently on Shopify, so you can also ask any specific Shopify questions about why it might be a good platform for you, whether it would work or not, and we're happy to answer those questions as well. What else awesome things can we share? Aha, I've got a question, so let me skip mine now. It's coming, it's coming. Please come up on the screen. Oh, I see. It's my own fault. I'm being a bonehead. Let me share my screen again. So again, new tool. Thank you everyone for your patience. Here we go. So this is my silly question, so I'm going to mark that as answered. So most of our examples pertain to stores that sell products. What are some of the differences in marketing for tourist attractions located in rural Ontario? What a great question. I don't know if, Carissa, you want to start with it. I've got some answers, but if you've got something you want to say right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you are selling a product in a way when you're trying to convince someone to choose your region, your hotel, your restaurant, whatever it may be, over another destination. So, I think a lot of the advice that Cynthia gave holds true here. And what you really want to do is, like, whatever experience you give people who come to your location, you want them to feel that through the screen. So you're using the same kind of language that you would use, the whatever sort of values and definitions you have for yourself as a business, ways that you handle things in person. You just really want to try to reflect that online, because really what you're doing is you're using those words to make a connection with someone who's not with you in person, and someone that you might never meet if they don't end up sort of coming to your spot. So a little bit of experimenting with that doesn't hurt as well. It can be a little bit scary to go from sort of the way we might traditionally market, or the way we have marketed in the past, sort of offline, because really what people are looking for is to build, like, you want to build some trust with the person who's viewing this information on your site. And so the more true, the more authentic you can be, I would strongly suggest that you do that, because that's how you're really going to make those connections.
I think as well too. Thank you so much, Carissa, for that. Mm-hmm. I think too. I would said in our session on Tuesday, I was completely ignorant of the fact that the PEC existed, that Prince Edward County even existed, and it's just that I don't get to that side of Ontario very often. And so when I was introduced to it through a podcast I was on, what an amazing treasure trove of beauty and coolness you guys have in that area. And I think that this is a real opportunity for area tourist attractions and businesses like wineries or artisans who are creating art or delicacies like chocolate or whatever, that if you can get your word out there, it's going to expand and increase your tourism overall. Right now, there's a lot of opportunity when we're smaller organizations or smaller businesses where people are just coming to the area already, and we're capitalizing on the people who are coming to the area. This is a great opportunity for you to get your message out there and attract people who may have never heard of yours before. When I think about Instagram and it being so visually driven, what a great way to share the beauty of your area along with the attractions itself, but through social media and the types of experiences that you can get. Another thing too, that for more service-based businesses who don't necessarily have a lot of products, our print-on-demand drop shipping is a great option to help generate some revenue in the off-season or when things are closed down. And basically that means you can create almost anything you can print on. So shirts, hats, pillows, canvases, mugs, I mean, you name it, notebooks, cell phone cases. You can put your logo or designs that would appeal to maybe local artwork that might appeal to your market and sell them directly on your website, and you don't actually have to produce them. So there is talk of doing a drop shipping webinar, but you can also access our drop shipping webinars on our educational piece, shopifycompass.com. So since we don't have any other questions, I quickly just want to put our resources up on screen so that we can share exactly where you can get some help and learn some more information. So let me just go to my Chrome tab. Okay, so again, this will be in your materials that you receive afterwards, but we have our Shopify Help Center. We have our App Store where you can learn about some of the apps I talked about, like referral program apps or Klaviyo, the marketing app. Shopify Compass, again, is our educational piece. You know, we're offering just one small bit of education, but you go on Compass, you can learn about everything from how to take great photos to how to start your website right from the sign up and on. If you're a podcast fan, we have our Shopify Masters podcast that you can listen to on your way to work or when you're commuting to get a little bit more tips and tricks and hear how the masters are doing it. And of course, we have our theme store as well. Don't forget as well, we've got shopifykingston.ca, which is Carissa's website as well, if you want to get any more information. So if we can welcome Lori back. So Rory's the dog's name. So at least, she's really cute like you, Lori, so you have that.
That's terrific. Ladies, thanks so much. This is as much of much interest to me as it is to, I'm sure, some of the other attendees that are online. I'm one of those people who likes to know how things work, and I certainly shop enough online, so I like knowing how it works up in the background. So it goes without saying that your online platform, while a little different from your bricks and mortar platform, is even more important to your future revenue than ever before at this stage. And it starts with taking that first step. So if, I would encourage you after absorbing everything in of today's webinar, and hopefully you're going to join for the following 2 webinars next week. If you still have questions, please reach out to either Carissa or feel free to reach out to me personally. I think both of our contact information is in the chat page. This hopefully is going to bring you a step closer to making this a reality for you. And it really comes down to taking that first step. I realize we're coming into traditionally a busy time of year, and that may or may not be busy for you depending on your business. You may want it to be busier by bringing in an e-commerce platform, but that's what this is all about. So we have a couple of more webinars that are coming up next week, next Tuesday at 11. Subject matter: turn browsers into buyers with Shopify, so optimizing your conversions. That's at 11 o'clock on Tuesday, December 1st. On Thursday, December 3rd at 11 o'clock again. Future-proofing your business with Shopify. Same sort of platform. You can find the links to those on our Facebook page. And I did put the link to our Facebook page on the chat room, or in the chat room rather. As always, you can reach out to me again at any point with anything tourism related, whether it's funding, whether it's you're looking for a partner, really anything. If we don't know the answer, then we'll find it for you, or we'll connect you with somebody who can make that happen. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Cynthia, again, fantastic. Carissa, I'm so glad that you joined us today, and the fact that we've got a local resource for our partners really helps to bridge that gap for a lot of people. I think that's going to be a great help. So again, thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing some of you, if not all of you, next week at our follow-up. And there's my alarm.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lori. I just left the website again, www.menti.com. The code is 8651145. The last slide is just asking what topics you think are most important to cover in upcoming webinars. So if you do have any suggestions, please feel free to make those suggestions. I'll leave this slide up for the next 20 minutes or so. So if there's anything specific you would like to see us maybe cover in the new year, if you can put that in there, then it'll give Lori and I some ideas for next year.
Terrific.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, ladies. Take care.